We're here today to show you the basic ingredients and spices that I keep in my kitchen so that I can cook basic stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with the basics. Of course, you need to have some salt. So I use iodized salt, very fine. I also keep some, this is lemon pepper salt. It's locally made from Solaris, all natural Pangasinan sea salt. There, it was given to me as a gift, so I use it once in a while. And of course, we should have some black pepper. Pardon the, yeah, but I like to use semi-whole corns of pepper that are slightly crushed, so it's a little tastier when you add it directly to your food. Next is, of course, some soy sauce. I like to keep it in a bottle so it's easier to use when I need some. I just pour some directly. I'm not really much into exact amounts. You know, I cook based on how it feels. So I just add a little bit, or so in the future you may see some. Sometimes I like mistakenly put a little too much or a little too little, but you know. Next is we have some cane vinegar. So this one is almost done because I usually use this for a lot of stuff. Also, I keep a bottle of balsamic vinegar for a different um, taste to some foods. Usually, I use this for the vinaigrettes and other sauces. Next, I have here a bottle of locally made hot sauce. It's made from Jolokeya pepper. So a local farmer farms this and bottles it to sell. I think this is the old packaging. I think they have a new packaging now. So this is really it doesn't taste like the typical hot sauce. It's a little bit more. There's a little sourness to it because it has natural vinegar. Yes, aside from the other ingredients that are just a little bit of sugar and cellulose gum and salt, of course. So, oh, and by the way, I usually, if you can notice, I don't have any sugar here. So what I use to sweeten my food is pure honey. So when getting honey, you have to make sure that the seller is actually a farmer, and that he doesn't add syrup, sugar syrup to his honey. So a way to find out is like you get a little dab of it and then you swipe it on your table and wait if it's going to be attracting some ants. So if it attracts ants, it's probably coated with sugar. Or sometimes bee farmers, to have a constant supply of honey, they feed the bees with sugar water. So that's also not good for people like me who are diabetic, because the glucose content of those kinds of honey is still high. So here we have another kind of honey. This one is honey from, it's raw honey from the stingless bees. So the stingless bees are a little different from the common mellifera. the yellow and black striped tailed ones that we are usually familiar with. The stingless bees look like flies. They're just black and they're small, but they produce this kind of honey. See, it's dark, and it has lots of like residue in it. So this one is from Hermoso honey. I personally know the beekeeper of this farm, so I'm sure that this is actually 100% pure. So that's what we always go for. It's a little more expensive than the regular honey that we see in the grocery, because most of those um, honey that we can buy easily in the grocery are most probably infused with sugar syrup. So that's not actually very good for us diabetics. Okay. Then here I keep a stock of extra virgin olive oil for my sauces, and yeah, for whatever. So usually I don't use this for cooking. It's just for mixing sauces and for my vinaigrette most recently. We're going to be probably using it more soon on some of the stuff that we're going to be cooking. And then, of course, for regular cooking, I use some vegetable oil. This one is kind of used. I don't throw my oil away. So, while vegetable oil colors up really quick, so this one is just used once. So, I'm gonna use it again, especially for deep frying my mushrooms and vegetables. But I seldom do that, so I'd rather have my food like just a quick saute or just a blanch. Okay, so now we go to non-essentials. This is the basically what I use almost all of the time when I cook. These ones. Now these other ones are, I just keep them for whenever a recipe needs some. So I have a bottle of allspice here, some cayenne pepper, and some ground ginger, some ground nutmeg, and some ground thyme, some ground oregano, and Spanish paprika for drizzling. And here we have some all-purpose flour and some cornstarch. Okay. I also use this. This is chili and crunchy garlic. So somebody gave this to me. It's from a local maker. The brand is Salvaje. So there, it's basically chili garlic flakes that I drizzle over, you know, food for that extra garlicky flavor. I also use it sometimes when I have rice to make it quick fix garlic rice. Okay, so I just use here at home. I use an electric induction cooker. So basically, I just have uh, a few pans that I use regularly. So I have this big, basic non-stick induction pan that I use for most of the stuff that I cook. Maybe you've seen it in the primer video. I've used it cooking some mushroom afritada, some pancit, and then here Chef Olan gave me an induction compatible cast iron skillet, or what do you call this, pan. So it's very seldom that I use this because it's actually a very high maintenance. Every time you use it, you have to wash it very quickly, dry it, and then I oil it, and then I heat it up again so that the oil will. I forgot what you call that process, but it's like aging the iron in the pan. So this one is actually, the more you use it, the more its character comes out. It becomes better. So I actually should be using this more. So maybe I'm gonna be using this in most of the cooking episodes, cooking videos. And then this other last essential is like something deep. It's an induction ready also, pot. So I use this for making soups and boiling stuff. But most of the time it's just me. I'm just cooking for me or just another person, just the two of us when I have visitors. So I just mainly use this most of the time. So this is all good. This is really used. But for the episodes, I'm gonna be using this cast iron pan that I got from Chef Olan. Shout out to Chef Olan. Thank you very much for the pan. So there you go. These are the basic stuff that I keep in my kitchen that I use for my cooking. So maybe in the future we'll be adding some more as needed, depending on what we're going to prepare or whatever the recipe requires. So yeah, so thank you for watching. Um, so every day, just keep on trying to find that balance in life. Try to live the best life that you can, because every day we should wake up and live. I'm Caioman, and this is Caioman's Garden